Rated T for teen.
My career has been a fight, a long, brutal, but necessary fight. I was told no more times than I can count, and every single time, I proved them wrong. WWE 2K26, pre-order now.
It's funny that 2K has a point of view on like how popular you are with the fans, and this rating means so much to these guys. Guess what? It doesn't affect their money at all. It doesn't affect anything about their day-to-day, but it's amazing. Like they really, really care. So the most famous one probably is what happened.
Well, and especially if you're basing it on data.
Yeah.
Like
my usual response is, you want your rating to get better? Play better.
Oh, damn, that's
simple.
No wonder they hate you.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
Oh, what's your story? Don't you dare be sour. Clap for Stephanie and feel the power.
it is a satisfying sound, the real, actual, you know.
I figured you'd have like 4 of those.
Yeah, what is that called?
Slate.
The slate?
Slate.
Right.
Can we get a slate?
I mean, it's just called, even the wooden ones called the
Yeah.
slate? Oh,
Take
I
one.
didn't know that. Yeah, and the sound is
Yeah,
always so
yeah.
satisfying.
Very-
The
very
clap is
satisfying.
like, it's okay.
It's just fun, like having a different person do it each time. We rate them. They don't know,
Hey,
but
speaking
You
of
rate
rating,
them.
yeah.
I mean, that's
actually,
Ronnie's whole thing, right? Because you're as you were introduced to me, it was as the heel of 2K
Yeah.
because the NBA players and fans are always so upset with your rankings.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a big deal
Yeah.
to be the most hated man in basketball.
I learned a lot about being a heel watching WWE programming, so this is kind of a full circle moment for me. I'm known as the guy that rates the players, except I actually do not. Which is
Oh, you
kind of
don't?
No.
you're just.
I mean, I
the-
give feedback, but I am the messenger, I guess.
Oh, I
of
thought
this.
for sure it was both.
No,
That's
it's
disappointing.
Very difficult to have that time. No, I know. I
That's
just take
actually
the
very
heat.
disappointing.
I feel like this is it.
Yeah, to actually not.
Great interview.
You don't.
Thank you.
You don't. I mean, you're not. I mean, I thought you brought the heat in. You took the heat.
Oh, I
no?
bring the heat, but I don't actually
Do the ranking.
Yeah, I
So
mean, to
who
be honest, a
does?
lot of it's automated at this point, right? Like we have 31 mini attributes for how a basketball player plays, and it's thrown into a formula, and they get all upset. But the funny thing is, it's controlled by exactly how they play. It's not. I mean, there's a couple people that tweak the formula and work on that. I provide feedback to that team. I work with that team a lot, but it's not like it's totally in our control. There's no subjective rating. It's based on your performance on the
Do
floor.
coaches utilize any of this?
Oh, totally. We've seen the other day, I think it was like the European game, who was it? Grizzlies and I forget the other team, but they were on the sidelines looking at each other's like ratings and playbooks and all that through 2K. It's
Really?
that
Is that
realistic.
like a separate business?
What do you mean?
I mean, well, there's the in-game franchise and
Mm-hmm.
everything that you do to create the best possible game
Yeah.
and make it as real as possible and all of that good stuff. But it sounds like this is sort of like a white label technology for coaches and players,
Yeah.
and that's something that they're actually doing and utilizing through 2K to improve the player's ability in real-time games.
Yeah, I mean, we're as authentic as you can be. We have video cameras in every arena. We are trying to capture as much data as possible. We are trying to make this thing as authentic as possible. And so that is a key feature to our game, being able to get as much information and have it output in a really accurate way. So accurate that, like even LeBron was talking about the first time he joined the Lakers, he was using 2K to plug himself in and see how they were going to play. And like different coaches have different.
Wait, really? Can you
yeah.
repeat that?
That's crazy.
LeBron James, who is
Yes.
now in his 23rd season in the NBA, when he joined the Lakers, 3 years ago, the first time he saw himself play in the game was in our game, and to learn, how he was going to fit in with the team and learn that play set, what their coaching styles. He used 2K to figure that out.
Can you change the coaching style?
Yeah, I mean, different coaches have different styles. All of the teams play differently. They play like they do in real life. It's crazy. It's become so realistic. You know, when
In the create your own, can you pick like different coaching?
yeah, so we have a lot of
styles
modes
and-
in
yeah.
NBA specifically. We have
I suppose I should be talking about WWE.
so no, it's okay. We can talk about, we can talk about it all.
She's learning.
It's all connected. I mean, I've been there 18 years, so I've seen obviously both franchises metamorphosize, you know, in real time. But NBA specifically, like you know, a lot of the way it's played now is there's so many modes, right? Like you have a GM mode where you can like actually do salary cap stuff and construct a roster, hire a coach with a different play style.
Do you have to create like a budget?
Yeah, you are confined by the salary cap that the NBA provides.
I feel like
So
this
you
is
have to
a
be
class.
smart.
Like if I'm a high school
You know what's so
student.
No,
crazy?
that's
Actually,
kinda what's fun about it.
obviously,
Taking
like
this-
the NBA is so exciting because of the player transactions. Just the trade deadline was a couple weeks ago, and so people will see like if they can make that trade in 2K. So when that Luka Doncic crazy
Oh,
trade
yeah.
happened last year, the game didn't allow you to do it, but like it happened in real life, and that's what everybody was so fired up about. It
Right.
was like, oh, why? If the game doesn't allow you to do it, then
How can
why?
they do it?
How is this trade so one-sided that it's happening? It
Hmm.
was pretty crazy. But we love to, I mean, it's amazing that the game and the real life game are intertwined in every way. Like
It's fascinating.
it's
really
just
is.
like we define basketball defines us. It's a harmonious yin and yang relationship. It's not what you would think. It's not the game like basketball determining what 2K is. It's both harmoniously working together. It's beautiful.
Has WWE at all utilized the like in motion capture for data points and analysis in terms of match structure or in any other?
Definitely.
way?
We have motion capture with WWE. The guys come up and jump in the ring and.
But I mean, like
act out.
real time
You're talking about, like,
data
rating
motion,
style?
like you're doing with the
A
NBA.
little bit, obviously, like the structure of how ratings would affect a match outcome. Like
Well, but I don't even mean ratings. I mean the data sets.
Okay.
Like the things that you're looking at, the movements. Like if I'm gonna determine how something's gonna play out or work, or if I want to get a feel for somebody's style, like is that possible?
yeah, I mean,
Or is it just a different business altogether? So,
I think like it's gotten so specific on the individual superstars that you can sort of see how it would simulate like a real life match and matching up the styles of two superstars before they get out on the ring. It's definitely like that exists. I don't know if we've leaned in as much on the WWE side just because it's probably newer, but it's
I
definitely
wonder
something
how we
that
could
need
use
to
it.
explore. Yeah,
it's
for
interesting.
sure.
Yeah.
You could have matches before you have matches, just like we do.
Yeah,
on
like
NBA.
right now, well,
Yeah.
it's the after,
Yeah,
right? Like people will recreate the
Yeah.
matches, but if you did it before,
simulation in advance.
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun. I mean, like gaming.
idea.
What has really kept me in this industry for 18 years is like the sky's the limit. You know, like you really can use all of this technology and learn so much about how the sport is played, and that kind of stuff is so fascinating. And like our fans just eat that up. 2K has become such a synonymous culture brand for people that love the game, and a lot of it's based on that authenticity.
Yeah. And I will say, having worked with 2K as a partner on the business side, it is always about getting the best product possible
Yeah,
and really trying to be responsive to fans and the audience and getting ahead of things. And,
Yeah.
you know, because there was a big bump in the road at one point in time. And I think the recorrect, and since where we've been since then has all been so positive, but it was always with this listening mentality and owning
Yeah.
whatever happened, and then how are we going to build together going forward. I really enjoyed when I was here, I really enjoyed the partnership from a business
100%.
side.
I remember that first meeting we had with our exceptional team at 2K and Visual Concepts. Like we all got together and we're like, this is how this franchise needs to go forward. And you helped us set that tone, and it was exciting. And look how far we've come. It's amazing. Now we have the island and a lot of the things that we've learned
That we
from
that we
NBA.
talked about. Yeah.
And
So
it's
cool.
pretty incredible to see it a few years later.
And then some crossover,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We just interviewed Jalen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun to have him, Shaquille, and Tyrese. I mean, it means so much to those guys. Tyrese calls me every few weeks. He's like, I just saw some fan play me in WWE. I'm like, I thought you were talking to me about basketball, but that's cool.
So great.
It's amazing what you guys have done in terms of crossing over those sports. But I mean, it's just WWE.
Well, I think it's what we're doing together, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been an amazing partnership in that way.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Please speak to me about your role as an executive in the company.
Yeah. Obviously, everybody sees the forward-facing stuff that I do with celebrities and athletes. I also had originally created our influencer program, our social media program. I'd say my gig at 2K that you don't see is taking on new territories. A few years ago, influencer marketing, you guys have really at WWE have captured it so incredibly. Being ahead of the game. But, we started that work like 12 years ago. We were very ahead of it in terms of the video game industry. And that was like my team leading that. Now there's a bunch of people that head up influencer departments. So I passed that work off to somebody else. And now I'm chasing new ground. I think that's been the epitome of my 18 years here behind the scenes. I'm sort of like the new innovation chaser. That's my role.
Ooh,
really.
innovation chaser. That's a hell of a title.
We haven't ever formalized that. But
I like it.
I think
I like
that's always been my joy and my passion. And 2K is so innovative in arming me with the ability to do that and get excited about it, and then talk to huge personalities about where we can take it. It's been amazing. But I'm like a couple weeks short of 18 years.
18 years. Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here, but obviously like tremendous partners at 2K, and like we've just led the way in so many ways, and it's been so exciting to be part of that ride.
WWE fans always love to imagine who their favorite superstar would choose to take on in the ring if given the chance. Elise and I are here to get those answers by posing the question on everyone's mind. Who would be your dream match if you could turn any WWE 2K matchup into reality? Can you paint a picture of what that match would look like? Give us a bell-to-bell scenario, too, of this dream match you have in your mind.
There's two that stand out in my mind. The fans have always wanted CM Punk versus Stone Cold, and obviously that would be remarkable. And we got that close.
Who would be your, not
mine,
the fans, quote unquote?
No, mine, and it also got so close that I don't know why it never happened, was HBK and The Rock. They had that one thing with your husband involved where HBK cost The Rock a match, and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get it. And then it never happened. That would have been a fun one to see.
That would have been. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Elise question.
Two mixed styles. That would be a fun one.
Ronnie,
Yes.
for better or worse, you get a lot of publicity from superstars about their rating. To put you on the spot, what would prime in-ring Stephanie McMahon's rating be in the game?
Why are you asking me right next to what would you right next to her?
2K
That's rough.
prompted these questions.
Yeah, no,
just,
I
you know,
didn't.
they are putting you on the
You
spot,
guys
not
put me on
me.
the spot? Okay.
I did not write this.
Bryce Yang.
It's from the desk.
He's like, I had nothing to do with this. I mean, I gotta give
I'm
it up
creating
for
a
her.
new heel.
She's the greatest heel in WWE history. There's actually there's no rival for that.
way.
No, you are. You definitely are.
You're not. Yeah.
So 99?
Oh, yeah, the historical rating.
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
it true that only her and Michael Jordan
Yeah.
have that rating?
Her and Michael Jordan are 99s. There you go.
I mean, of course.
That makes you
MJ.
Yeah. I called him yesterday. You're like, I called him yesterday. We're good.
Yeah, yeah.
We talked
now
about
now we have
we're part
something
of the
else in
99
common.
Club. Exactly.
Who outside of the WWE world, celebrity or another athlete, in your opinion, has the highest or lowest WWE rating as a potential WWE superstar?
What?
I think what you're asking me is there some person in the world that would be
Really
like
good
a
or really
huge
bad?
WWE superstar? God, I had this conversation the other day.
See?
Man, I have to think about it for a second. I thought about this. I was watching a movie and I was like, man, that would have been amazing to see him in WWE. God, I can't remember. Let me go off the. Let me think about this for a sec.
Okay, we can tighten it up.
No, that's okay. Well, okay.
Heel.
No, seriously. It's the. I'm very close with him, and I think that one day he will be a WWE superstar. So I got to plug my boy George Kittle. Like,
all
I
right.
think,
That's a good
I love
one.
that.
I mean, that guy will learn to be whatever you want to step in that ring.
He has all the charisma and athleticism, that's for sure.
And he's got the passion for this industry. I mean, he doesn't look like he could jump off the top rope, elbow drop yet, but I bet you he would learn.
And
I
the
bet he'd
hair.
learn fast.
I bet you he'd learn.
He just has to heal up.
Oh, I said the hair too.
Yeah.
Hair's great.
Yeah, no,
Hair's great.
he's a character that just hasn't. He has to get his little 49ers career over with, and then
Oh.
and then he'll be here. I'm the biggest 49ers
I
fan
know,
there is,
I know.
but yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
all
One
about
day,
the
one day he
WWE.
will be in the WWE for sure.
This episode is brought to you by WWE 2K26. Every week on What's Your Story, we discuss the biggest rivalries and the incredible journeys that shape a champion. But what if you could write the next chapter? In WWE 2K26, the show never stops, transforming you from an audience member into the ultimate decision maker, a true superstar showman. Step into the ring and run the world's greatest show with the largest roster in franchise history. We're talking over 400 playable superstars and legends, from the rebellious Attitude Era icons to today's undeniable champions. This year's game is truly unmissable. Embrace the unexpected with brand new match types like I Quit, Inferno, Dumpster, and 3 Stages of Hell matches. Stack tables, break the rules, and turn up the chaos. Control your universe, craft your legacy, and show the world what you are made of. Pre-order WWE 2K26 King of Kings, Attitude Era, or Monday Night War editions to get up to 7 days early access starting March 6th. But so, you grew up in Fort Lauderdale?
I was
Or
born
you were
there.
born in Fort
I grew up in
Lauderdale.
Marin County, actually randomly 10 minutes from where our headquarters are.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild. I was a first generation Indian kid. My parents moved here for opportunity. We were very, very poor, living in a very affluent area, very affluent. Marin's one of the most expensive zip codes in the world. And it was very tough. We had shared a 900 square foot 2-bedroom apartment with my grandma, my 2 younger bratty brothers, and my parents. And we watched WWE programming. So 3 boys, beating the crap out of each other, good times in a small apartment. It turned into hell in a cell every day. But my parents worked 7 in the morning to 11 at night, doing a, typical Indian first generation thing, which is running convenience stores, gas stations, things like that. But they would work hard, and they'd trade back and forth just to see us. I was pretty much raised by my grandmother as well. And it was hard. I was very, I wore a turban. There was a lot of discrimination in a very affluent white community, and those years were tough. But for me, sports was my escape. I loved basketball, and I loved gaming, and I just thought as much as my parents were annoyed, being we're working so hard and you're sitting around playing video games, that there was something there. The gaming business had just barely been scratched, and I thought there was an opportunity. And so, I chased a lot of careers in sports. I actually went to Columbia Law School for 9 whole weeks and dropped out because I wanted to be a sports agent. I want to be Jerry Maguire. And I work with so many of those guys now, and I'm so glad that is not what happened to me. When I got into, and then, in 2005, I was top 10 in the leaderboards in 2K. I played since the original 2K, not to age myself again, but top 10 in the leaderboards, played the heck out of the game, was very good at it. And I
just loved it from the beginning.
I just loved it from the beginning. And I saw the technological, where they were going, they meaning 2K.
Can I stop you for
Sure,
a second?
yeah.
How did your parents wind up in such an affluent white neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't know actually. Like they wanted to set us up with the best opportunity, and they're the high schools, the schools.
So
in
they
that area.
intentionally went
Yeah.
into the district.
Yeah, and I actually went to private school my first year in high school, which was
Wow.
$20,000, which back then was a lot of money, and for them it was a lot of money. And they were just willing to give whatever they could to provide an opportunity. And you can imagine when I told them that I was going to drop out of law school and go work for a sports organization or
Worse,
eventually
a gaming.
Video
Yeah.
gaming organization, that at the time was going nowhere.
What did they say?
On top of that, they were horrified.
But like, what did they say?
They were like, "You are ruining your life. Why would you pass up such a immediate opportunity?" I mean, their goal for me was doctor, engineer.
Sure.
Law was even like, ugh, fall back, ew. Like they
And
wanted
you did
me
work
to,
at a couple law firms.
I worked at a couple law firms, and I worked 80 hours a week, and I could not stand it. And it wasn't the hours. I work a lot more than that every week at 2K, but it was just the passion behind it, right? And yeah, I would go home after work and play 2K all the time. And I was like, I should probably try to do this for a living if I can.
Right.
so-
Do what you love.
Yeah, so then I moved back to Marin. I was living in San Diego at the time, which is where I went to undergrad. And I moved back to Marin, and I lived at my parents' house for a few years. Started at the bottom. I worked on our forums. WWE.com used to have a
Oh
forums
yeah.
as well.
I used
Do they
to.
still? They might still actually.
I used to. I'd work all the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
in the
yeah.
company since I was
You would read them
15.
and yeah.
But so one of the departments I interned in at the time was new media.
Yeah.
And like AOL was still a thing.
Who did that
And-
report to? Like what department? Ours reported to web. So the first place I actually worked for 2K was the web department.
Well, we ultimately, like early in my career, I was shadowing. I spent, once I graduated college, like I worked all my whole life in various forms. But once I graduated, I did a unique internship. It was 3 months with my mom, who was then the CEO.
Yep.
And then like, it was supposed to be 6 months, but it was like 2 years with my dad. And one of the first things that we did, aside from buying the Debbie Reynolds Hotel and Casino, was, which is a completely different conversation and
interesting.
totally random, but was launching our web presence.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember meeting with the different companies, to see their vision, for what our website could look like and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, but at that time, it could have reported to Shane, but I don't think he was quite in that role yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know who it would have reported to. I was pretty young too.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when I was interning, so then I was one of the handles, that you see, and there's actually a fan that
Wait, what do you mean handles that you see?
like there was WWE Matt
Oh, like they
Rat,
had, like, a
and
menu tab or something?
and
Okay.
then it was because in the forums
Yeah.
you had like a moderator,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so there was always a WWE person in there,
Yep.
and there was like 16-year-old me in there, but nobody knew.
Yeah.
And
That's so
I
crazy.
still do have a relationship with like one of our fans that I remember from those
the forums, wow.
conversations. Yeah.
So weird.
So crazy. I
Yeah.
know. And I would have these conversations because I didn't know what I was doing. And
You were destined to be someone who talks to people
I don't know.
for a living.
Well, I think there's a lot of advantage of being in those forums because you really know what's important to your fans.
Yes.
I mean, that's the root of my
So
whole
important.
existence at 2K. Is like I was always a big fan of the game, but I was also so close to our fans. And that genesis of knowing your product and knowing what your consumer thinks about your product, super hack. Like it means everything.
Yeah.
And so that was the genesis like of that. And it's funny you talked about .com. I actually helped build our website renovation as part of like one of the first things I did. Who would have thought like now you think about my career, I actually
Right,
helped
and
them
where
build
you are?
built .com, which has now changed over like four times, right?
Yeah, right.
But like social was such a big part of that. And so when I led our initial social media pages, like NBA 2K, all of the different franchises. And then one day they're like, why don't you do Ronnie 2K and see what that does? And as opposed to speaking to one to just a few on the forums, I got to speak one to many. Now, we didn't realize how many it was going to be, but, it allowed me to like play the heel, play the face, trash talk, be part of the video game and sports landscape, like actually talk trash to our consumers like you would if you were on the headset, right?
But so how did your character evolve?
How did what do you mean?
Well, Ronnie 2K.
Yeah.
Like, how did you become?
I mean, it was weird. Like I would just clap back. I was just part of our community, and then
'Cause you were just
I'd
having
get some
fun?
followers. Yeah, then like I'd play. And
Did you
people knew I
find
was
yourself
competitive.
like, wow, I feel like I'm
I
taking
didn't think
on
I
a
was doing
persona?
anything too extraordinary. No, that didn't really happen until all of a sudden, like they kind of throw me in a content role. Like so back then, like nobody thought about content in terms of like outside of your TV spots, right? And so all of a sudden there was a need to like, Derek Rose is at our launch event. Somebody should talk to him about our game and how much he loves it and how he grew up on it. Ronnie, here's a mic, go do it. And it was like, I just remember 2K11, our first event with Michael Jordan was on our cover, which was like huge, amazing. And our game was starting to become a lifestyle brand, which is we needed a lifestyle persona to support that. Now, again, the goal was never to be as big as it's gotten, but I just, I was just trying to be authentically me and have some fun with it and learn, like kind of showcase what I had learned, part of which was being a WWE fan and watching the face heel dynamic. Like it was very, like that was a big part of the character I was trying to portray. It was pretty amazing.
Who were some heels that you?
Well, I mean, the Attitude Era, obviously a big part of what we're doing with WWE 2K26.
Can we all take a pause and look at how sexy my husband looks in this?
I'm not going to say
He's
that.
No, I mean,
a
you
good-looking
can't
man.
not. I mean, even a man can
good-looking
say
guy.
that is
Look
a
outside.
man.
Just feel like it's a
damn.
test.
Yeah.
I love that he's behind me.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to keep this, I think.
Yeah.
I got to move my seat.
I can't wait for you to mount that in the house and show it off to everyone. But yeah, the Attitude Era. I mean, I watched before. I mean, the first time I went to a WWE event, again, we couldn't afford to go, but I would watch programming all the time. Was WrestleMania 10 with my favorite, like Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon in the ladder match. That's when I was like hooked.
Yeah.
And,
Did you love Razor?
no, I love Shawn.
You love
And,
Shawn.
Yeah, and the Iron Man match with Shawn and Brett a few years later, and I was just
So you big Shawn Michaels
a
fan?
big Shawn Michaels fan. I know
Okay.
you know him a little bit, so maybe one day
Uncle
it'd be awesome to
Shawn?
meet him.
That's what my kids call him.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard he's a great dude, so one day I'll meet him.
You
But
haven't
then,
met
I mean,
him?
then it transitioned to The Rock, who I've actually gotten to know a little bit. Obviously, what he does on social media, Dwayne, is incredible. I did a little cameo on his show Ballers a few years ago, which was. And
Did you play yourself?
The day, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. The day that he did the scene, with the cemetery, like he was so locked in, and they introduced me to him for the first time, and I was probably so annoying to him, but then he was so gracious and nice with his time.
He's
But-
probably having flashbacks.
Yeah, yeah.
The
He was
Undertaker.
going through it. Totally, that's right. Yeah, he's like, I've been in too many of these. But yeah, The Rock, Stone Cold, that whole generation of like trash talking really, I think, reflected on how I created my character in the early days, which is so funny.
Yeah.
This isn't about hype or luck. It's about optimization, living stronger, thinking clearer, and performing better every day.
At Game Day Men's Health, that's the standard. Game Day Men's Health helps men improve testosterone, energy, and sexual performance with real testing and face-to-face visits.
They help men reach their full potential with science-backed care, from testosterone optimization and peptide therapy to ED and performance support with personalized treatment plans.
With over 400 clinics across North America, they've got you covered. No long waits, no online guesswork.
When life demands you be at your best, every day is game day. Learn more or book your visit at GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
They're actually doing a documentary on my story, and Strauss joins it for an interview and kind of reflects on this like uncomfortable time.
What does he say?
Oh, it's so funny. He's like, he was the one that was like, I just got to believe in this guy. And, we just got to try to be different. And, looking back now, it's like that really worked out, but it was probably really uncomfortable for our leadership team for a while.
I bet recognizing talent is a huge part of being a very successful individual.
For sure. And I mean, that guy is loyal. He understands, I mean, the companies he's built, it's, he's an amazing leader and individual for sure.
What's the best lesson he's taught you?
I think it's about loyalty. I think like people have when something's not working for a short period of time, or like somebody's telling you shouldn't do something the way that you do, you just got to believe and be patient and just work hard and hope for the best. He really does believe in that, like investing in ideas and people with time. Like nothing is built overnight. Our place to go from the number 2 basketball video game to where we are today took time and
Yeah, that is
innovation
unusual,
and
especially
effort.
in today's world.
Yeah, and
Because you're
you
going
have
quarter to
have
quarter
patience.
while
Yeah.
you're a public company.
We really don't work for EBITDA directly. Like obviously it's a byproduct of the culture that 2K has built.
Yeah. Well, and it is tricky because it takes so long to build games.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I hope AI helps. One of the things I hope for
sure.
you guys, because I remember all the conversations and it's like, no, we have to wait this long. It's just, this is how long it takes. And it's frustrating for everybody,
Yeah.
I'm sure, but that's just the process.
You want to be creative, you want to storytell, but the work has to get done. The product has to be
and there's
very
certain
refined.
things that have to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so cool how it all operates.
Yeah, I mean, most games take, a long time to develop. Grand Theft Auto, who obviously Take-Two works with them, but, they haven't released a game in such a long time because they really, really want to deliver a top of the food chain product. NBA and WWE come out every year, and so it's a different challenge and it's an exciting one.
Because how can you keep it fresh?
Yeah, but we always
And
do.
still maintain-
I mentioned 2K11 when we put Jordan on the cover. I remember feeling this way right after we launched. I was like, how are we going to outdo this next year? And here we are.
It's like
15 years
WrestleMania.
later.
Exactly. Every WrestleMania. How
Exactly.
can we do it bigger? How can
And
we do
you
it
just
better?
got to figure out a way, and you got to innovate and be blessed with a very good team that's going to get you there.
I want to go back to your culture a little bit
Sure.
because you even mentioned like, what if I was bought by, or our company was bought by our competitor? And what you said specifically was your parents and how they would react. How important is the role of your parents in your culture and in your family?
It's everything. I mean, I'm just so proud that they gave us this opportunity to work very hard to go do this zany, weird career that nobody understood. That takes also a lot of guts to move, our family to to a new place and hope that your kids are going to turn out all good. I'm getting a little emotional about it because
That's good.
a couple months from now, I think you and I talked about this a couple years ago, but it's very hard for my wife and I to have a baby, and we are due in 2 months.
Oh my God, in 2 months. Wow.
So exciting.
Baby
That is
girl, we're gonna have to talk
amazing.
about that. I could use some mentorship.
Okay,
for
absolutely.
raising a girl.
Full goosebumps.
Yeah.
Just a lot of love.
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh yeah, I'm
for
scared.
any baby.
I'm scared. I'm one of 3 boys that used to be in Hell in the Cell matches.
I mean,
Can't do that with her.
listen.
you
Oh,
know?
she's going to
No.
own you.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yeah. I just
Girls
want her
can
to
do
be
it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like,
Yeah.
not my
Yeah,
baby girl.
I could see a Stephanie McMahon in her, like the badass.
That is a huge honor that
Yeah.
you would even say
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
especially before she's born.
I hope so. Well, one could dream. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Congratulations.
So
Thank you.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a long time coming, and obviously we're really happy. But that's gonna be an interesting transition for me. I'm so ultra focused on my career. I travel 200 days a year. It's gonna be a little tough with
It
a
is.
little baby girl, but
Well,
I'll figure it out.
you realize, I think at different phases in your life,
For
you
sure.
have different priorities.
Yeah.
And you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and the company will support me, through that, like they always have. So that's
But
very
it's
exciting.
good you're nervous.
Yeah.
It's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
You just kind of figure it out as it goes.
yeah.
Though.
And
Like I said,
trust
I
me,
think-
no parent knows what they're
Still
doing.
trying, still trying to figure it out.
No idea. No idea what I'm getting myself into.
Ryan's
Yep.
expecting a baby boy in a little bit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats, buddy.
Also very nervous. It's good. It means you are excited and you care.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
and how's your wife doing? Is she feeling good?
She's good. I think you met her. She's 4'11", so she's tiny, and I'm 6'6". I don't know how she's does. Like, I feel like this baby's coming early because she's running out of
Yeah, the end.
space.
space. That's a terrible thing to say. I don't mean it the way that sounded.
No,
but
somehow we manage it.
Yeah.
And by the
it's,
end,
it's crazy.
we're done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So-
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, but some women actually don't have any issues at all.
She's been great. She's a
great.
trooper. She's taking. I think I told you she's a pilot, like as a hobby, which is
I'm sorry.
insane. She flies planes
Sorry, what?
for fun.
She's a badass.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
and very
she's got like
intelligent.
she's got like an exam for like instrument training. It's like how you fly the plane in bad weather. Like if you were totally fogged in, she can fly a plane now. She's got her exam for it next week, and I'm like,
Good luck to
what?
her.
No, that's great, but like I'm like, what if I don't know the baby like decides to come a little bit early? Like, what are we gonna do about that? But it's amazing. Yeah, she's
So
a
how
badass.
did you score this incredibly beautiful, intelligent, high performer?
That's,
luck? God's
That wasn't kind.
God's grace, luck. No, honestly, yeah, for sure.
Where did you
Yeah.
guys meet?
We met when she was 20 and I was 33, but we didn't date until COVID. We met at like some party or something. Nothing crazy.
I was hoping it was like a gaming event or something.
Yeah, no. She's a big gamer though. We actually played a spades tournament together for NBA All Star last week, and we should have won. We got cheated, but I don't want to get into that.
Oh,
But
come on.
she's like really like a good gamer. Like she actually coded and like she studied to be a
Shouldn't be
game
surprising.
designer.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
so
at this
weird.
point.
So
she
impressive.
She could actually code 2K probably better than I can. So yeah,
Oh, she's my hero.
Yeah, sounds very
yeah,
remarkable.
she's great.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you started, the reason you went there was because I was asking about, and there's waters there too.
Thank you.
I was asking you about your parents.
Mm-hmm.
How excited were they?
Oh my God.
And are you the first of their
No,
kids to have
my
kids?
younger brothers both have kids, and
Okay.
look, like they also understood that I would have to sacrifice that for a long time. And I mean, they've wanted me to have kids for 20 years. I'm definitely their favorite, like without a doubt.
Well, you're the
So,
firstborn.
Yeah, I'm the
So
firstborn.
the firstborn always thinks they're the favorite.
Yeah.
that's
See, Aurora, I said thanks.
But so it was. It took exactly.
A couple of second borns
Yeah.
over here.
It took a long time for them to like. I don't know, wrap their head around it. But it was funny because I said we have that documentary showing. I still haven't shown them that because they're a big part of it. Like that American dream story is a big part of the documentary. But I kind of tricked them to come over one day, and I'm like, I'm going to show you the documentary finally. And they're like, sit down, grab their popcorn, and instead we showed them the baby's heartbeat.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I hope you recorded it.
Yeah, my mom screamed really loudly.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
They
Yeah.
must be so
It was
excited.
cute. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
the
didn't know we would
best.
get into baby talk so much, but
No,
I
that's-
actually was like, I'm gonna get Steph's advice for. I mean, you have 3 beautiful girls. So
I do. I'm very blessed.
Yeah.
I am blessed.
Yeah,
And it sounds
they are
like you are too.
They are amazing. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. Get me all
I saw her
emotional.
last time I saw her was at Mania with the 3 of them. Hanging out. I think that was maybe the second to last time I saw you, but yeah, you're always with them. It's great.
I love my girls.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just totally blessed, and I'll take any minute I possibly can to
For
be
sure.
with them.
Yeah.
You know, they say that you spend 80% of the time you're ever going to spend with your child by the time they're 18.
That's sad.
And it's like heartbreaking to me.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
algorithm is all of the like, you only get this many summers, this many Christmas, like all of that. I'm like, I'm going to do everything with my babies.
Yeah.
And then I spoil them. So,
Yeah.
And
probably
then you
bad.
don't sleep.
Thanks, TikTok.
Yeah.
Also that.
Just spoil them with the time you got. And make it
Spoil them
worth
with
it.
love.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 That's your advice then.
Yes.
Okay.
And just know that even though you think you are so nervous, you have no idea what you're doing, they survive in spite of us.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds
They're
good.
going to be
That's
fine.
what I was worried about.
If you watch the delivery room nurses, they like whip the babies all
Oh, yeah.
around. It's like crazy
It is.
what they do. It's
Yeah.
like, you know.
He's like, what?
I mean, no. And then, here's a real solid piece of advice.
Please.
Before you leave the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
make sure the nurses watch you swaddle the baby.
Okay.
Change the swaddle is the hardest thing. I mean, they probably have great mechanisms
So-
and devices
I
now.
just
I
got-
had
just
to do
got
the
se-
old
I got-
school
I
like
got
blanket
sent a
fold.
snoo. You know what
Oh,
that
yeah.
is?
It's
It's like the bassinet
It's a
where you put
bassinet
them
that
down and then
puts-
like you It's like a
It has a swaddle.
straight jacket. It's like
Yes.
a swaddle.
Now the
And
swaddle
it,
just
okay,
exists.
and you press some buttons and it like rocks them to
It
sleep.
makes them feel like
that
they're
sounds
still in the
amazing.
womb.
Yeah, don't listen to my advice.
I'm using next gen
I'm
technology.
old.
No, that's why I was like, I hate to make you feel this way.
Well, my oldest is going to be 20 in
Oh
July.
my god.
And I used to wheel her in to buildings to the arenas because she traveled with me
Does it feel like it's just gone so fast?
so fast. So fast.
I know.
Like blink of an eye. And I've been watching these old videos. And
Oh,
she's
you're
like,
going through it.
She's,
That's
I
sweet.
am. It's terrible. It is terrible. So when you were 6,
Mm-hmm.
you had some kind of accident.
Oh yeah. How did you know? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Just keep this light.
I got hit by I don't know if I've ever told this story, but I'm happy to. I got hit by a car in London, where my dad's from, and like this guy. It was like a hit and run. Like we were across the street to school. My mom was in the. I stumbled over and I think she turned around and I got hit by this car, and I was wearing this like white kurta. It's like an Indian outfit. I don't know why I was wearing an Indian outfit to school, but whatever. And it immediately went red. I had
Oh
to
my
get like
God.
27 stitches, and then the doctor told me that I was never going to walk again. But like,
Where were you hit?
I was hit in the leg. I have a big scar.
Huh.
Yeah. And those
Do you remember anything?
I remember how I felt when he told me that. I do remember that.
But you don't remember
Actually, I
getting
remember.
hit.
No, I do remember. I remember most of it, which is weird because I don't remember a lot out in my childhood besides that, like the first 7-8 years.
Well, I mean, it was
until
a
we
real
moved to California.
emotional
It was traumatic.
situation.
For sure.
Yeah.
I remember getting carried there and like in the car, that whole thing. Yeah,
Oof. Being scared.
I'm being told that, and like you could tell the doctor was like traumatized himself to tell me that.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily,
You proved them all wrong.
I mean, I don't even know. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. in
What,
terms-
you didn't
it
have
was
to
a
do
total
special
miracle.
therapy
No, not
or anything
really.
like that? So what kind of surgery? Did they have to repair ligaments and tendons and bones?
Yeah, my knee has some reconstruction done.
But just
And,
not like crazy.
It was pretty isolated to the knee.
Yeah.
And like to the right side of the knee. It's crazy. How did you know that? I don't
I
know
have
if I've
an, I
ever
have an
talked about
incredible team.
it. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they make sure I'm prepped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to think back to that is pretty crazy.
But especially, and then you are a very tall man. I mean, how you said you're 6'5"?
So I wasn't back then. I was actually going into high school. I was the shortest kid in my class. I always use this joke, so I'm sorry. But in 9th grade, the beginning of high school, I was 4'6", had size 14 shoes. I was a red-nosed short of a clown. That's pretty much what I was. I like.
Did you trip over your own feet?
Oh my god, it was so bad.
I mean,
and then
it's
imagine
gigantic shoe size for being so
between
short
then
at
and
that time.
Between then and my senior year, I grew to 6'2", 6'3" by senior year.
How about those growing
I was
pains?
in pain.
Damn.
And my basketball shot was terrible because
You couldn't control
every
your
time I
body.
shot, it was
Yeah.
like going further and further. I'm like, oh wait,
growing.
I'm growing. What's happening?
growing.
Really
So
rapidly.
I didn't really play high school basketball. My body was just not in a position to do it. So I played a little bit in college, but not a ton. I knew early days, especially after my knee surgery, and even regardless, I'm not athletic enough to be in the NBA. But so early days, I knew I wasn't going to be an athlete, so I'd have to figure out another way to get into sports.
Which is crazy that you just hang out with the best of the best
Yeah, and
NBA
I rate
player,
them,
right?
and they are okay with my rating without being like,
I
who
still
the
want
heck
to
are you?
understand who came up with the diabolical rating system to pin
And then
it on
handed
you.
it on me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been kind of the role, I guess. Like people, I mean, I'll get
Even when
people
I
will
was
say-
told about you,
Yeah.
which is, it's totally separate and
Oh,
apart
it
from
got
all
pinned on you
this.
too.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Everything gets pinned on me. I don't care. But like I was told you did the rankings
Yeah.
and you were the heel persona, but that you actually did the rankings.
No,
Nobody said
I'm
that
just
that
the
wasn't
heel.
the real thing.
I'm just the heel.
I feel like maybe after this, people will take it easy. on you.
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
They won't believe it.
Guys, I'm
either.
kidding.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny because people think I developed the game, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm doing content one day with Kevin Durant, then I'm going back to my computer to develop 2K. Like, not.
Are there
not
any
possible, right?
significant players who got really angry at you? And
Oh,
is
over
there
the years.
are there any fun stories that they would be okay with you telling?
There's a lot of really harsh ones.
But no, like a one that maybe was angry at first, but turned out to be like a great relationship.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, man, there's a lot of them. I'm trying to think. Well, so Hassan Whiteside. This is sort of like where ratings took off, or where I attribute it to. So 2K14, so 12 years ago, his rating was terrible. It was like high 70s, not terrible, but not good. And he had this game on nationally televised game on ABC where he had a triple double with blocks, so like points, rebounds, blocks. And at the end of the game, they interview him. They're like, "Why did you have such a great game?" And he's like, "Oh, I was just trying to get my 2K rating up." And we're like, "Wait, what? Why is this your mindset?" But he was serious. And so the next day, he did a ton of interviews. It was like a historic game that he had. And he went on Mike and Mike, who you know probably pretty well. And they asked him, they're like, "Well," like Rihanna reached out to him. Like it was on comments. They're like, "Who was the most famous person or most exciting person that reached out to you?" And he's like, "Ronnie." And they're like, silence. You know? Like, they had no idea who I was. And they were like, "Okay, well, next question." And it was just clear that this thing had become a thing. And then, him and I got very close over the years. But there's just so many guys, like, and now it's like, it's pretty well known that like, we don't give a lot of 90, we give 0.99s out. Like it's a historical rating. So like Michael Jordan's the only 99 in our game. Sorry, LeBron. So they get it, like nobody's really mad, but they lean into it for fun. Like Kevin Durant obviously has been in the news the last couple of days for his Twitter activity, but like he does that, right? Like he will go after folks on Twitter to expand his brand marketing. It's funny that 2K has a point of view on like how popular you are with the fans, and this rating means so much to these guys. Guess what? It doesn't affect their money at all. It doesn't affect anything about their day-to-day. But it's amazing. Like they really, really care. So the most famous one probably is what happened.
Well, and especially if you're basing it on data.
Yeah.
Like
my usual response is, you want your rating to get better? Play better.
Oh, damn. That's
simple.
No wonder they hate you.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly. There was one in the most famous one was probably a couple years ago with Klay Thompson. The NBA had just rated him the 70s, not in this top 75 for their 75th anniversary, and we had lowered his 3-point rating to an 89, which now actually looks kind of fortuitous, but I won't get into that. See, I can't hold myself. I gotta play a hero.
So
I can't help
naturally.
myself.
sure you don't do the ratings.
Yeah, exactly. So he was in an exhibition game with Steph Curry. They did like a 3-point contest in Japan, not in America, but in Japan. And so it's 3 a.m, and all of a sudden my phone just goes berserk. And they're like, "Clay's talking to you about you." I'm like, "What do you mean? It's 3 a.m." And I forgot that he was in Japan. Basically, like after this 3-point competition that he won, he's like, "Ronnie, I hope you were watching that. This is for you. Your ratings suck." Like on national Japanese television, and Steph's over there like giggling along, and like it was massive news. And then we got into like an online feud for a while. Draymond Green got involved. It was like a whole thing. But then
That's
like
fun.
I ran into Klay a couple weeks later, and it was like nothing happened. It was like he's like, "Oh, I remember when we all used to hang out, like us at the Warriors," because obviously I'm a local guy, so I'd see those guys all the time. And I was like, like who's
Did that not just
manufacturing this? All
happen?
like, what just happened? Weren't we just like in a blood feud on the internet like 2 weeks ago? So it's fun and games, and it's
You
funny.
mean
to
everything's
be a part
not
of.
real that you read on the internet?
Yeah, maybe a little bit scripted. What can I say?
What?
Maybe it is. It's
Unreal.
WWE.
So
That's what
fun,
it is.
yeah, fun for me to say that.
Sorry. You could edit that piece of it.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. But amazing that this little number means so much to the most famous athletes in the world. When they're in Japan at 3 a.m, why am I living rent free in your heads when you're halfway around the world? It's crazy.
So I have to say, it's genius.
Like, that's how
it
you
is
know you
genius.
made
I
it.
mean, it really is.
I mean, I think, the WWE knows this better than anyone. Any conversation is good conversation to a degree, right? Like to a degree. The last couple of years, maybe that's changed. But you know, you want.
But I
the
mean,
worst thing that
so
can happen
to
is
go
people
all the
not
way, like
talking
kind of
about
bring
you.
it full circle, right? It's like an investment is made in you as sort of this, you know, kid who understands social media and marketing from a generational standpoint that maybe others didn't necessarily understand.
Yeah.
And you created a brand and a persona that ultimately became like the core of pop culture talk within the NBA. And I'm sure fans alike get equally riled at the, you know, different comments you
They all
make or
have their
rating
fandom.
systems or what
Yep.
have you. I mean, it really is, it's storytelling.
Yeah. But just like you, I mean, you, of all people, understand. That's why I've always felt this kinship with you is it's a character. At the end of the day, anybody that comes up that's a 2K fan that wants a picture or a hug or whatever, I am totally different person. And then all the work we get to do with philanthropic stuff, like that's where you and I really connected, is everything to what we do. That's the reason that's the why, you know?
WWE World returns to Las Vegas this April 16th through the 20th, and it's the can't miss destination during WrestleMania week. WWE World brings the WWE Universe closer than ever to the superstars, legends, and iconic moments that define WWE. With immersive exhibits, exclusive merchandise, and experiences you won't find anywhere else.
See superstars like Drew McIntyre, Liv Morgan, Jey Uso, Dominic Mysterio, Tiffany Stratton, and many more, with even more appearances still to come.
Tickets are on sale now at WWEworld.com. Save 10% with promo code YourStory10. So why don't you talk a little bit
Sure.
about some of
Yeah.
the things you care about?
I've been a Make-A-Wish ambassador for 12 years now. I've done not as many as John Cena, but almost
Nobody has.
almost 90 now, which is crazy. Kids that want to
Right?
see 2K and meet me, like what of all the things you can wish for in the world, it's pretty crazy that we have that fandom. So I've loved doing that. I help at every WrestleMania with the superstars. It's usually Ronnie 2K and, you know, Drew McIntyre. I was just talking to Drew about this a few minutes ago. It's why all of us do this, right? And so for me to get to team up with WWE now on that stuff is great. And then we have the 2K Foundations program. I mean, we'd be nothing without basketball and really youth basketball. So we've built 56 courts in 6 continents.
It's awesome.
For kids, but around education. Like it's both education and basketball. The one I'm most proud of is we built one in India. I got to take my parents, another full circle moment 2 years ago in Bombay, and it's beautiful mural. It's the Ronnie 2K court in Bombay, and
Oh my
they're
God.
actually there's 4,000 kids that are part of an education program. It's a lot less money to put a kid through education there, and so that whole, like, to be part of the basketball program, you also have to go to school and be part of this program. And 4,000 kids run through there every single year. It's amazing.
That's amazing.
And so, why do any of us have a platform? Like, why did I play that heel all those years ago? It was to get to a place where we could build a platform for good, and that's why you guys do it at WWE as well. It's it means so much to the superstars to be able to give back to their core fans, and if they can be heroes to those people, absolutely embrace that. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's the most rewarding part of life
Yeah,
is when you can give back to somebody in any way,
yeah,
but especially kids.
yeah. And one of the core memories I have with you, Steph, is like when we first met. You handed me your Connor's Cure bracelet, and that meant so much to me because like that was our kinship. What you did for him, and like what you do in philanthropy is a lot to admire. So you're a big mentor for me in that way.
No, thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I so appreciate you taking the time to come here
Always.
and to talk about your journey and your upcoming journey with your beautiful family.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank
again.
you so much.
And where it was Innovation, what was the title?
Chaser.
Innovation Chaser.
I made that up.
I know, but it's
literally
so
about
cool.
time
I
heard it
love
here
it.
first.
I love it.
Yeah.
Doom, doom, doom.
Innovation chaser.
I hope people look back at that and are like, oh yeah, of course, that makes sense. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It
I hope so.
absolutely does.
Yeah.
Of course, I can hear somebody saying, like, that's a bullshit title. People make up titles all the time, but it's a
Yeah.
cool one.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, it's funny because I always talk like at 2K, I'm like, we're like, what is Ronnie's title? It's weird. I don't really have one now.
You're Ronnie 2K.
I'm Ronnie 2K.
Yeah, you're just the
And
brand.
That's that. So,
Yeah.
Again, super appreciate just everything that 2K has done in, the 27 years it's been going. And for me to be a small part of that, it's been remarkable. But, being able to sit in a room with you and chop it up on things that we love is a blessing. I can't, and I would do this every day. Whenever you need me, I'm here.
Thank you. And I guess I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, what are you most excited about? Because we have a launch coming up, and
Yeah.
depending on when this airs, but from this moment, it's 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. It'll be March 6th, early access, March 13th for the regular game. Your husband's got a little bit of a
The
presence.
aforementioned.
But getting to work with CM Punk and then celebrate the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era. We have 4 beautiful covers. That product is amazing. Really excited to jump in the island. Obviously, like with its analogy to what we did with the city on NBA, it's going to be fun to watch that growth and see our fans really dive in. I'm excited to see that.
And today we have like the developers.
Yeah, so we have I think there's like a dozen or so developers downstairs with about 100 content creators from all over the world. I was in an elevator with somebody from the Netherlands, from London, from Mexico City. Some of the biggest content creators, some of the biggest WWE fans around the world that are coming here to Stamford to play the game for the first time. And the enthusiasm down there is amazing. And even the superstars are coming by and they just sit there. They just want to play and hang out. Really cool to see. And, just an amazing community that is WWE 2K.
And now, do these developers and media, do they rate the game?
You know what's funny? Lionel, who's our head, what's his title, Bryce? He's our creative director. I've known him for years. He used to work on NBA way back in the day. He was introducing all the developers, and then he's like, if anybody has any problems with the game, Ronnie 2K is here as well. So he can help you out. I was like, thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
That's cool.
But yeah, sorry, what was the question?
Well, are they rating the game, right? Because, you're all about the same thing.
Speaking of ratings, actually WWE, if you didn't know, is one of the highest rated sports games in the world, higher than NBA. It's pretty remarkable what that team has done in terms.
Yeah, it is.
It's such a
it
fun
wasn't
game to
always
play.
that way.
It wasn't always that way. It's been a tremendous amount of work.
And commitment.
And love
and
of the
investment.
game, passion, investment from a lot of very talented people to turn it into the franchise that it is. But I said this about NBA a few years ago, we're just scratching the surface. I can't wait to see what the WWE franchise will be in a few years.
That's perfect. It's perfect.